This is Sasha Sabbeth of Entrepreneur Soul Coach, and this video is to honor the great late General Colin Powell. And I'm getting choked up because I never met him. I did not serve in the armed forces. However, I've known about him for years, and just a few years ago, my spiritual guidance led me to some of his quotes. And then I started pursuing watching some of the interviews with him. And I was always taken by what I felt was a great presence of light within him. In terms of his history, I want to make sure I use the terms correctly, so I'm looking at my notes. But essentially, he was the very first Afro-American United States Secretary of State. He was the chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff, and he became a four-star general. And the reason that he struck me as I studied him, similar to John McCain, what came through over and over and over again was his great love for this country and the great leadership and the great inner quiet strength and power as he moved through life, starting in his earlier years and then working himself up to become what he became, despite the fact that he was Afro-American. And of course, being Afro-American brings in a lot of the cultural controversies. My point here is that we have been blessed with the greatness in this country of General Powell. We have been graced with the exemplar of someone who was a mentor to many, according to the many articles that I've read and interviews. And when a spirit such as General Powell, excuse me, I'm getting so choked up, because when you are in the presence of light, it touches your soul. And that is what his work in the world did for me. As I studied and watched him, all of this is through social media and YouTube and other media outlets. However, on some level, the fact that I was drawn to him meant that he will be on my soul purpose path. And when you come across a real leader, when you come across a real patriot, when you come across someone who has real power, power through elegance, power through respect, power through humanity, power through compassion, power through being not just a world servant, but also, from what I have been reading, such a great family man, such a dedicated, honoring husband, father, grandfather. So for me, the great Colin Powell has left a mark for this country, my great America, to hold dear to our hearts as a guiding star, as the North Star, as the United States trembles with controversies. We'll just leave it there. And in this time of controversial times, where there is an awakening of humanity, where there is a demand that which serves to uplift and unite and love and be creative on the merits of competence and courage, stamina, vision. This is what I saw in the great General Colin Powell. And the reason that I get so emotional is because we have such a need now for us to find the Colin Powell within ourselves. you can see that the great turmoil of this country and around the world is getting greater momentum, and it is a call for us to step back and look where our creative forces are aimed. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm a professional psychic, success mentor, healer, and soul guide, where I work with professionals to assist them in healing their success blocks and bringing their soul calling out into the world. And what it takes to do that is what the great Colin Powell emulated through all that he went through, where it was him taking accountability, him taking responsibility, him doing the work, never leaning on anyone else to do what is his to do. And that's where we are in our businesses, in our personal lives, in our communities. And so when a great light has left the earth plane and has gone up into the heavens, what it says for us is that we were blessed to have seen a possible way to approach life, to touch other people's lives, and to bring forth such a fervent, true power of conviction that is based on morals, that is based on a God truth that lives within, that is based on wanting the greater good to prevail and doing whatever it takes to make that happen. In reading the many testimonies and articles of other great leaders' response to Colin Powell's passing, it is so clear that the role of leadership, of being a true man, a true lover of humanity and this country, walked amongst us. And that is what we need more of. And it lies within us. And so for those of you who own businesses, look for the power that Colin Powell exemplified of sticking to your values and doing the work and facing the great storms of life and knowing that your words matter and that you touch people's lives as a leader, whether you know it or not. Now, in Colin Powell's case, he was placed in leadership positions, so being a leader was absolutely something he knew. But I'm trying to draw a line here between the outpicturing of this great soul, Colin Powell, and what we have lying within us. Some of it's latent, some of it's activated but needs to be further developed. Some of it is developing and you know that it's developing within you, but you just need an extra oomph. You just need an extra push. And my point is that the push comes from character. The push comes from really taking stock of what did you come into this lifetime to do, and how does your business, or how does your mission, or how does your project, or how does your role in your family structure carry your character, carry your values, carry your modeling of not blaming, not whining, not complaining, but seeing what is within your power to impact and then doing the work to do it, because that is what this great man did. As I said, I never served in the armed forces. I can just imagine, though, in reading the articles and listening to the interviews when he was alive, what it was like to serve under him as the head at the helm. I am so grateful that my guidance, my spiritual guidance, led me to pick up on him. Some quotes that I saw on Facebook, and then I picked up on his light. And I studied him. And I listened to the words that he chose, his humility, and yet his masculinity of being someone who knows life and who mitigated life. And so the purpose of this video is not only for his spirit to hear me, because I think that it's important for us to know that we are interdimensional. We are heaven and earth here on the earth plane. And we have the great gift, the great grace to channel the spiritual realms of spirits and guides and archangels and our higher self and our spirit teams down here through our great works in the world so that we make this place a better place. And so when we come across someone who has left at this time where we are churning and seeking direction and seeking truth and seeking who really to believe and what really is it to lead and do I really care about other people? All of those questions are churning around here in the United States. The question is, who do we really care about? Do we really care? Colin Powell exemplified just how much he cared. His friends, those who he led, those who sought him out for consultations, wisdom, fun, love, family. If you would take some time and just study him rising up from growing up in New York and what he had to deal with as he was drawn and called forward to make the most of his life and to become someone who impacted for the better, I think that it would be a good study at this time. I'm so sorry for his family. Excuse me. I'm so sorry for his family. They must suffer greatly right now. And I know that we as a nation, as a country, as we have our leaders show their true colors, as we are forced to go deep inside ourselves and ask, what is the truth? What am I going to get behind? What are my values? How am I going to sort out the chaos that is at hand? How do I find home within myself where truth lives, where love lives, where power lives, where God lives? How do I get there? That is what is happening now. And that is what Colin Powell showed us in his life path to become someone who absolutely was, from what I can tell, a warrior of the light and a great, great advocate of this United States, of our Constitution, of our laws, of our beauty, of what we fought for, what we stand for, the soul of America. I love my country. And I know that with my gifts that I was born with, I ask you to look at the gifts that you were born with. And for you to step back and say to yourself, where is a Colin Powell within me? Where is a 4-star general within me? Where is a person who had banged up against and got swatted around by life so that you can find a strength, a new layer of strength within you so that you can find the reason why all the turmoil and all the hardship is worth it? I ask us all to look at this time as a time to say, I am a leader and I am needed, and my country, whatever country you're in, I'm here in the United States, whatever country you are in, that regardless of the odds, regardless of the suffering, there is a surge, an ocean, a tsunami of God's grace. I don't care about the religion. This is a religion-free zone. I'm talking about the God force, the true God force of creativity and love and power. And that lives within you. And it is there to bring harmony, unity, greater love, greater competence, greater purpose for a land that is united, a world that is united. And through our businesses, for those of you who are business owners, or for those of you listening to this who are upper management employees, or those of you who are leaders in some sort of community pursuit, know that within you is the next layer of connection to your spirit, the next level of accessing what you came here to do, where you can meditate, you can channel, you can sit and just reflect and ask the question, what is my next access to my spiritual power so that I can be an even greater leader? And what values, what beliefs do I need to further embrace so that when I emerge as this great leader, as this great contributor to humanity, I really am contributing. I really am doing the light that is needed in this world. Colin Powell was that. We all make mistakes, but I will tell you this. It is a true leader, a person of true power, who is able to admit it, who is able to own it, who is able to be accountable for it, and then continues to uplift and heal and make the best that they are given equipment to bring forth by their birthright to make this a better place. When greatness comes before us, our soul feels it. Our soul wakes up a little bit more. Our personality self feels a resonance, and something inside of us stirs, so that what we become as we emerge, as we develop as people, more of our soul will be felt, will be shared, will rise up. I ask us all, I ask this of myself, that we take time to reflect upon the leader, the light, what it takes to do the hard work, what it takes to find the grace that lives around us, the divinity of love and unity that lives within us, to then share it outwardly, because it's needed now. It's needed in this country and around the world. And Colin Powell was that, from what I could tell. So I wanted to make sure that for my tribe, so to speak, my clients, my students, those people who follow me, that you see that this great event, this sorrowful and yet this glorious event of General Powell having been here and having left, is a mark of possibility for all of us. That we come for a while and we leave our spiritual touch on whoever's lives are on our soul purpose path, and then we leave. And what we leave behind is what I am asking all of us, and I ask it of myself, is that we rethink, we recraft, we reevaluate what are we doing in this lifetime. Are we awake enough? Are we stewards of each other so that harmony and community and goodness and creativity for better and better and better can blossom? And if we're not, what are we going to do about it? I am so grateful that I shared a lifetime with this man, as I feel about other great leaders. Because great leaders have a streak of spiritual power that they leave behind like fairy dust. But it's up to us to catch it. It's up to us to recognize it and to then take it and to put it into our hearts. I'm so grateful that I found those few quotes on Facebook a few years ago so that I put more attention on learning about this stellar human being. I ask that I too can face the challenges of my life and to help my clients and students face the challenges in their lives with the elegance and the fortitude and the clarity and the skill and the love and the humanity that was embodied and expressed by this great man. I'm sure that he is very busy on the other side. Given his commitment to the United States and to his beloved family and his friends, I'm sure he's very busy on the other side of the veil. So, anyway, thank you everyone for listening. I just get touched by great people because becoming great is a big deal. Becoming great is no easy task. It wasn't for him. And yet look at the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful legacy he has left. And I want that for all of us, that we find it within us as well. So, thank you. God bless. Have a wonderful evening. Amen.